Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I bought this Keter Storage Max Garden Storage, sort of a miniature shed, 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago actually. It was August 2021 when I made the assembly video for this little storage shed. If you'd like to go back and see that video, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box. So it's been 3 years, how is it doing now? So in this video we're going to find out. So let's start off with the outside. Down at the bottom here I made this base for it, which is adjustable so that you can get it level because the slabs slope away from the house. So I wanted this on a nice level base. If you'd like to see a video on how I built that base, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box. But first impressions of the shed, it looks pretty much the same as when I bought it. It's just a little bit dirty. You can see on the clasp here where dirt has gathered around those areas. I've never cleaned this shed, so with a brush and some soapy water I'm sure you could just clean it easily and get that off. And the benefit of it being made out of plastic, there's no rot. This is out of direct sunlight, so it doesn't get a lot of sunlight at all, and I think for that reason it's maintained its colour. Sort of an off-white cream at the front and the green at the top. So if you put this in direct sunlight, I'm not sure how the colour will fare over the years, but mine doesn't seem to have faded at all. And the clasp at the bottom has held up. I have been very careful with the clasps, they are plastic. If you're rough you could break one, but mine haven't broke. And I've been using this quite regularly for the last 3 years. So looking at the side of the shed now, and again there's some cobwebs, some bits of dirt, but nothing really to note. You can see 2 screws here. That's where I added a shelf inside, and I'll show you that in a moment. So now let's take a look inside. First I'll have to get the snow off the roof. You can see on the top of the roof there's some build-up of green, I don't know, algae, moss type stuff, just because of the lack of sunlight, but that wipes off really easily. So now the shed is open. The doors swing really smoothly, as you can see. No need for any oil. As I say, you need to be really careful with these doors. If you fall into them or if you pull them too hard, they could crack, and once you crack the plastic you're it's very difficult to fix it. If you're just careful with these, very careful, you shouldn't have any problems. I've had these 3 years and I've got no problems at all. You can see here these hinges. Be careful and it will last. If you're rough and you crack it, I'm not sure what to advise if that happens. Anyway, so the gas assisted like piston things, there's 2 of them, one either side, and they help you to lift the weight of the shed roof. So as you push the roof up, it sort of takes the weight for you. They're working just fine, no problems there. The number one question then, is it dry in here? Absolutely bone dry, not a drop. There's a few drips here as I open the door, some water just dripped down, but you can see by the stuff that I've got in here. I even keep my table saw in here. I've kept it in here since I bought it. I've had it over 2 years and there's no rust on it or anything. So I can vouch that it is watertight. I don't keep anything too valuable in here, as you can see. Just junk, but it does a good job. I added this shelf. It does explain in the manual how to add a shelf to these little sheds, so it is possible. I have a video on how to do that, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description box too if you're interested. But yeah, all in all, there's not really a lot more to say about it. It's fully functioning, it's working well. There's no moisture build up in here. As you can see on the roof here, it's dry. No moisture build up, no damp, no mould, no leaks, a few cobwebs. Fully functioning, that's about it. So 3 years of use, careful use, and it's absolutely fine. Here's a closer look at that shelf I installed. I actually used bed slats for mine. As long as the thickness of the material is correct, it should be just fine. And it sits on these little ledges here, and there's little dimples on the outside where you can add screws. And I've not had any moisture ingress at all. It's bone dry, and the shelf is working just fine. So then I'll just offer a few tips if you're going to get one of these sheds. Make sure it's on a level base, don't just put it on a slope, because the whole structure will be compromised and gaps will open up and strains on the plastic, the doors won't shut properly, and that will cause a lot of problems for you. So get it on a level base like I have here, and also if you can, anchor it to the base. I've got a video on how to do that, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box. But it really helps to keep it all together, square, and that way it lasts a lot longer. And also just be very careful with these latches. They work just fine, but they are only made out of plastic, so if you're rough you could easily snap one. Saying that, you can get replacement parts for these, but just be careful with them. Here's a close-up look at one of the hinges. As you can see, they're just plastic. They don't need oil as far as I know, and they're running smoothly. And again, just be very careful not to bash into those hinges, because it would be very difficult to fix them. Okay, so that is about it then for this video. So as you saw, pretty good shed. It's held up nicely. There's not a lot to say about it really. I think it's good value for money. It does the job. No rot. Really low maintenance, if any at all. A decent product in my opinion. So if you did find this video useful, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.